Drew Sidora. Drew was on with Angela Yee on Way Up With Yee, and she was talking about how she found out that Ralph, who lives in the basement, okay, he's in the basement, he had a woman in the basement. Now, first of all, I feel like as a woman, I would never, and I can't play the audio because sometimes they be tripping and they'll flag you, whatever. But Drew was like, yeah, Dennis, well, not Dennis, not Dennis. She was saying that I can play now.
In the basement. I have the manifesto. We live in a gated community, so all I have to do is call the gate and I get the names. I've never talked about this publicly, but I went to my daughter's school lunch with the parents, and it was this girl like me mugging me. Her daughter was in my daughter's class. A parent. I was like, "What's your name?" And so she said her name. I was like, "Oh,
hi, nice to meet you.
Hi, you've been in my house." She was like, in the basement working out with Ralph.
Now, I feel like Ralph should not be allowed to have company in the basement. Okay, you should not be allowed to bring women. And who wants to? I would not want to go work out in the man's basement because that means his wife upstairs is some kind of. Why couldn't y'all go to the gym? But Drew, like, no, I found out because the security has a list of names of who will be in here with the codes or whatever. And then some Tessa, okay, a lady at my daughter's school was in my basement with my husband and Ralph. We know Ralph ain't shit though, but these men ain't nothing. That goes for Ralph, DDG, Offset, Diddy, Bradley Knight. All of these men, we don't like them. I don't agree like women. They may not, but I think Drew, girl, changed the codes. Set the basement on fire. Okay, I would drop like little fish guts in the vents. Okay, I would like put a little sawdust on the floor. I would just want to make it like I would be stomping real hard. Okay, but I feel like as a woman, I would not want to go to this man's house and have to be in the basement, knowing there's a whole tumultuous. Because there's not a secret that Drew and Ralph are going to divorce and he lives in the basement. I would not want to go over there. Okay, and sir, let's say Ralph is training people because he works out. Train them at the gym. You should not be bringing any woman over to the house and being in the basement with her. That's just stupid. That's nasty. Don't do that. But Ralph's a nasty person. Okay. And to me, I think he do something just to piss Drew off. And if I find out a woman from my daughter's school was in my basement without my permission, I would say, Judge, he should not be allowed to have guests in the basement. He should only have guests outside the house, period. Okay, but Ralph's the asshole. We don't like Ralph. Nene did an interview, not an interview. She had the new post that she posted. I haven't watched it yet, but she was talking about how she's in a good place with Bravo.
People think that I'm in a bad place with Bravo or NBC, and that is just not the case. I mean, there's been so much talk. We've actually cleared all of our disagreements up. We've actually sat at the same table and worked through these things.
You did a whole special.
Yeah, we worked through all of that stuff. I did.
Yeah.
And then sometimes I think people are not thinking I'm working for NBC. You know, when you see me hosting the Oscars or the Emmys on the red carpet, they own those carpets.
They do.
And if we were in some sort of beef, they would not have me on their carpets.
I don't think Nene is in an active beef with NBC. I don't think she's in an active beef with anyone as far as her whole suing NBC Universal. I think Nene burnt a bridge with NBC and Bravo. I think NBC and Bravo and Nene had a conversation. I think Nene got a couple of dollars. I think to appease her, girl, here, go on the after show on E! News at 11:30 p.m. after an award show and talk about fashion. But I feel like if she really wasn't still blackballed from NBC or Bravo, they would have her on. something besides the E! News after show of a red carpet event. Because even when Nene is on the red, because Nene don't really be on the red carpet, she is always on again the after show discussing the fashions at 11:30 p.m. And I feel like if she really wanted to be like, you know what, we're good now, they would put her on like the forefront of something. You know what I'm saying? I think they're appeasing her. They're giving her the itty bitty bit of the basement for her to say, see y'all, I'm still on Bravo. It's like, no, you're on E! News on the after show. Okay, I want it to be a point where you're like, you know what, we good. I was on Watch What Happens Live. We good. I did a little walk on spots with the housewives. I think that's when I will believe they are like in a good place.
I just think that people don't really see it like that. They don't really get that NBC owns Bravo.
Yeah.
And but we're in an okay place. We are dating, if that's a thing.
Yeah.
So I think it's slow, but so far all is well.
Because I guess so, child. But she wants y'all to know she ain't banned no more. She can be on the after show of the show, and then that's about it. I mean, it's a good thing. Baby steps. But again, you sued them. I don't even think it was a win or a loss in a certain way, because Nene still is fighting to be on TV. You know what I'm saying? Like, no one is saying, hey, Nene, I want you around here. She's had she had the BT College Hill. She had the one little guest spot on the Netflix show with Kim Fields and Mike Epps and whatnot. But she hasn't done much outside of that. I think because people, and by people I mean NBC and Bravo, they don't still trust Nene won't burn them down again. So I think they're to the point of like, you know what, cool, go talk about clothes on the after show, and then that's about it. So I said, girl, I guess so. But again, at least she said we are not in any kind of active beef. Okay, we are in a better place than we were when I said that Andy was a cokehead and Bravo was racist. And that's kind of crazy to me. Apollo, okay, Apollo just won't go away. Okay, we consistently see him discussing things, interviews, chat. Now, when I kept seeing this clip, I was like, what y'all mean? I said, a son? What y'all mean? Child, Apollo has an adult son.
Ellie, we're talking, and he's like, yo, do you have some kids?
He's talking about when he was in prison and found out about this adult son while he was in prison, because he'd been out about, I think he's been out for like maybe 8 years now. So it's been a while.
Kids out there you might not know about. And I was like, man, it's funny that you mentioned that, because sometimes I have this instinct, something just hits me, like it could just be a normal day and I get smacked over the head like by a feeling like you might. And my brother sometimes, he's like, yo, do you think there's another you out there somewhere? I was like, nah, just, Aiden and Dylan. I was like, nah. Wednesday comes, boom, I go to visit. I'm sitting in visit, and she's like, do you know a such and such? I'm like, yo.
Not again.
Chill out.
Like, come on.
This was last week. Like, I don't know what you're talking about this time. She's like, no, think about it. Do you know such and such? I said, well, I know this person that has that name. I said, I know.
So she's asking you girls' names?
Yeah, I do. I know this particular girl. I just broke down in tears, bro. Right in the visitation.
Not crying in prison. You can't be crying in prison. Ain't no crying in prison. Well, they cry in prison for different reasons, but I mean, whatever.
She's like, yo, I have some news for you. I was like, I already know. She's like, you have a son? I said, man, I knew it, man. I knew it. I was like, but.
Okay, this is crazy.
It was wild. She's like, and from what I see, like, she was like, yo, the mannerisms, like he looks like you, She was like, I was like, well, how did you find this out? And she was like,
that's what I'm about to ask. Like, so like, how do you just get this information? Somebody come knock on her door, like?
No, she used to. So my management they used to monitor my my Instagram and stuff.
Oh, while you're away and stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there was a DM from someone that was like, "Hey, I just want to know if you might be my dad, my long lost father out there."
Hold on. Hold on.
I'm reaching out.
So the kid reached out?
Yeah, the kid.
What in the world?
Yeah, he reached out. He was like, "Yo, you might." He's like, "Man,
Can kids reach out to prisoners? Is that illegal?
I was looking in the mirror, and
I see you on the TV."
Yeah, he was like, "Man, it was weird because I'm like,
what?" So they did ask for a DNA test.
No, I need to get one. I need to figure this out.
Okay.
Like, this is real. So I'm trying to figure out how I can get.
How you get a DNA test from in prison though?
So I had to get my mom. I was like, they could do it through the grandparent.
That's true, because if you're in prison, I don't think you can give blood or you can give DNA in prison. Well, you could when you're in you can go visit in prison and take a piece of hair and in a baggie and then do that maybe.
You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
So the grandparent, my mom went and met the individual. That was confirmed. We spoke on the phone, and I was just like, "Hey, you want to come up here, come see me, da 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 da." And he was like, "Yeah, how you do it?" I said, "You got to get on the visitation list." So the kid was pretty smart. So he went on the bureau's site, mailed in all the proper documents, and then next thing you know, I think he came with Shireen, winds up picking him up from the airport or whatnot. And the guy comes to the visit, man. And when I seen him, I was just in awe, man. For real. I broke down crying again. I gave him a hug. I was just like.
So you've seen it, like as soon as you seen it?
Yeah, man. I did. I was like, whoa, this is something else.
Right.
This was, dude. Yeah, it was definitely a shift. I was like.
Going on, it's a lot of moving pieces. When's the last time you spoke to this person?
Well, I mean, you really want to know?
Yeah, no, like for real,
I'm speaking to him right now.
What do you mean?
You're the guy.
Oh, what you mean?
You're the guy.
Yeah. Well, nobody gonna tell me I'm interviewing my father today?
Man.
Now, first of all, Apollo's son is as corny as he is. I feel like them doing the whole because it was over an hour interview about all kind of stuff. And this part came towards the end of the part one of this interview. And it was cute to have them play it as if, who's the son? Oh, I'm the son. So it was cute, but it was also corny. Okay. So that is Apollo Nida's grown son. I don't know the man's name. I was listening to the interview earlier. I didn't get through all of it just yet because I was like, what's going on? But let me see if they have a name. Hold on. The YouTube page is called Any Second Podcast. But like there's no information for like the guy. It's only one video out and stuff. There's nothing else to figure out. We don't know we don't know what his name is, or anything. But it was cute for them to kind of have this full conversation because it was an hour and 13-minute interview. And the last 3 or 4 minutes was him telling a story about how he found out in prison he had an adult son. And again, Apollo got out about 8-9 years ago. So the fact that they've been building this bond for at least, let's say, the past 10 years, is real cute. When I seen people confused, like, oh, well, how would he say? I don't know. I'm like, they were being funny. You know what I'm saying? That was the way of them revealing that's his son. They look alike. Okay? Look like twins.
Y'all wasn't gonna say nothing? What you mean? Yep, it's just like that. Yeah. That's how it's done. You're speaking to him right now.
Yeah. How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Love you.
Love you too.
Thanks for reaching out.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It had to be done.
Definitely.
It's been a hell
of
a process, right?
This is only part one. We don't know about Trey Crib. Let me go his name. Trey Crib. Is he a person? Not is he a person. But I feel like Google. Let me Google. I do wonder, like, has he met the brothers, the young kids or whatever. Like, who is he? Where did he come from? Okay. Let me see. He ain't got no social media. Anywhere I go, it's cute. At least he now know who his daddy is. He looked just like his daddy. Okay. They also kind of talk alike. It's kind of weird or whatever. I don't know when part 2 will air. And it's kind of smart. You know what I'm saying? If you're going to, not expose, if you're going to let the world know, hey, I have a whole adult son out here that I did not know about. Now, we don't know how old Trey is. Okay. We don't know who his mama is. That may come in part 2. I'm not sure. But it was a cute, long conversation. It was a cute way to expose, hey, yeah, he is my son. He reached out. Now, the one part I did hear was the kid, again, was sending him DMs. And because his team was checking his DMs while he was in prison, that's how they ended up connecting. I do wonder, like, what the mama was doing. Why did he not know he had a whole adult son? Were they living in the same state? I wonder what's going on. Apollo gonna get a show some kind of way between him, this adult son, him and his issues in his marriage or whatever. Apollo need to be on someone's television, okay, and not YouTube. Okay, but again, congrats to him on his son, and congrats to the son on finding his daddy. But they look just alike. It's crazy. Okay, but that was cute. Now, Jen and her alleged scheming, scamming husband, okay, Chris, is it Christian? He is Christian. They are now talking about Shaunie. I watched one episode of the season. I reviewed one episode of the season. I said, I can't do it. I don't have it in me to review the show, but I see the clips on social media. I know Shaunie was on a recent episode. I know that Jen and Christian had a whole like Vegas cheesy wedding, and this is how they felt.
Oh, Shaunie comes or whatever. And let me just talk about that for a minute, because I find it real strange that you sit up in church and you praise the Lord all week, every Sunday, and then
Jen got with Christian and grew balls. Okay. I feel like all this time, all these years, all these seasons, was Jen a pushover because she wasn't getting no good dick? Christian must really be giving her good dick because she is big, bold, and bad. And don't nothing make a bitch be more big, bold, and bad than good dick, okay? Because I felt like she was quiet. She really went out to stand up for herself. And she got with this man, this scheming, scamming man, okay, who he looked like he would run your credit. Okay. And most people with good dick will either run your credit or your life in some kind of way. Okay. So yeah, he looked like he's trouble. He out here starting and bopping is what he doing.
and it's like they start talking about me, which I have done nothing to her, and you turning up your nose like, as a first lady, aren't you supposed to support marriage? So
I mean, not a bad marriage. Not a bad marriage. Yes, first ladies and pastors, they do want to support, unions and love and happiness. But if someone feel like, you know what, I don't support this marriage, they should not be fake and lie and act like they do.
I just find it very contradicting. And
I think she meant contradictory.
But those are my thoughts.
You want to hear my thoughts?
Sure.
Yeah, I didn't want her to be at the Paris wedding. But like I said, I had to respect my wife's guest list. Well, she didn't show up anyway, but I saw the scene where she just like, are you going? And she's like, no. Like she kind of with a twisty face. I mean, I don't want you to be there anyway. If you would have showed up. See, I didn't know that Jennifer said that she was invited when she went to go see the girls at the house in Vegas. But if she would have showed up, I would have been like, who are you? I don't even know you. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's my energy. And I feel like Evelyn's your puppet. And Evelyn, you also suck up to Shaunie, which is the reason why you still have a job.
Jennifer does too. What aggravates me is the fact that Jen is now talking shit about Evelyn and now about Shaunie, but you weren't saying any of that shit when you were in the circle. I'm saying, like, I feel like Shaunie has protected Jen and Evelyn for years. I feel like to say that Evelyn sucks up to Shaunie, but so did Jen. It's like girl, pot and kettle.
So, I'm going to keep it a buck. You know what I'm saying? Like unedited, unfiltered. That's exactly what it is. Because it was a lot of times where Evelyn is like, well, Shaunie wouldn't want to be there anyway because, well, she's not going to bless that marriage. Like, it was just a lot of like teacher's pet and sucking up. So, I mean, that's really my thoughts.
But my thing is like,
if they don't support the marriage, they don't support them. I wouldn't care. I don't care about anyone who doesn't support my relationship. If you don't, be over there.
like, you know, and shout out to our first lady, who is also our marriage counselor
and our pastor.
Yeah, and our pastor. And they just, you know, I'm very happy that I have that example for myself, because I know, well, it's so much I have to discuss. But anyway, yeah, I just feel like I get it, like that's your girl, but you should also call her on bullshit too. And I feel like we never see her do that. Evelyn's in the wrong a lot, and Shaunie does not check her.
You don't either. You've never. Evelyn has been a problem child since season 1. No one's checked her. When she had bad decisions and bad antics, you didn't check her either. You was right there beside her in the bullshit. Even when she was mean to you, you would suck up to her to suck at her teeth.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm starting to see that too.
Yeah, I mean, it's all, and let me tell you something. The network, y'all need to stop with the bullshit, because once again, you put up the back and forth with Evelyn and Armani and Auntie, and you continue to blur out that Evelyn called Auntie a cunt. Like, what are you protecting her for?
Yeah, y'all.
They may not be able to play the word "see you next Tuesday" on the show. They can probably say "bitch, hoe, slut, trick," or whatever. I don't know if they can play someone saying "see you next Tuesday" repeatedly. So I don't know.
She called her a cunt.
Y'all are the problem. Y'all are the problem because y'all protect this woman, and we know the real. We have the screenshots. We have the paper trail of
what
her
really happened.
Her coming from my aunt. My aunt wouldn't want to come for this woman just off GP. Like, she's coming for this woman because she got invited, accepted the invitation, and then now Evelyn want to fold up in fetal position. Like, oh, I'm scared. Why won't y'all defend me? She attacked me. Like, nobody want to hear all that. Like,
Evelyn has played that same game for years with everyone. Your auntie ain't no exception. Okay, your wife, Chris Boy. Okay, your wife has also helped Evelyn and be Evelyn's scapegoat. She kept kissing Evelyn's ass. I feel like you can't be a part of the problem, and then once you are on the outs with that person, you want to call, oh my God, it's not fair. It's never been fair. You love when it wasn't fair for other people. You love when she was this way with OG and with Royce and with everyone else except Tammy. Okay, y'all helped her be this person. So miss me with the bullshit.
Like, we're gonna call you out on your BS because that's nuts.
Yeah,
that's
when the
crazy.
bully gets bullied, it's not so fun, huh?
Jen, girl, you played on her side. You were the bully's best friend. You helped the bully. You helped them get OG off the show. You can't. You trying to come for and I am not defending Evelyn or Shaunie. I'm pointing out Jen is a fucking hypocrite. You are hypocrites because you play these same games with Evelyn against other people. You had no issue with Evelyn doing any of this stuff to other people, but not that it's happening to you and to your husband's people. Now you have it. When girl, dick can't be that good because you look stupid right now. If I could pull footage from the show for years that showed you right with Evelyn and Shaunie taunting and bullying other people, I would, but I can't. I'll get flagged.
But you could talk shit about everybody else. But the minute somebody say something about you, oh, why didn't you defend me? I would never let anybody talk about you. Girl, bye. And I don't even want to talk about her because she's like, in her words, a non-factor.
Yeah, I mean, she treading on thin ice because, like, I'm gonna keep it real. There's only so many buttons you can push for me when you talk about my wife.
Christian, sit down and shut up. Stop getting so involved in you trying to beef and fuss with Evelyn. Let Jen and Evelyn beef. You the man. Sit on the sideline until whoever Evelyn's fucking come and address you or Jen. Shut up. Let your wife handle her own business. Jen allowing Christian to have so much shit to say about Evelyn to me is dangerous because again, he can't fuss and fight with her. You should. You should. And I'm not saying that Christian doesn't have the right to speak up for himself. But sir, what you gonna do to Evelyn? If Evelyn keeps talking about Jen, what you gonna do, sir?
That's all I gotta say. There's only so many buttons you can push. See, the thing is, I don't gotta get violent. I don't have to get violent.
What you gonna do, sir?
But there's only so many buttons you can push. You got my family, then you got me.
Oh,
so yeah, girl, get them off my show. Not my show, off the show. Because it's bull stuff. It doesn't make no sense. But Jen, you sound dumb. I wasn't watching. I'm not gonna lie. I saw on social media. Okay, that new show is on Bravo. It's the kids of the housewives and whatnot. That is Kim Zolciak's daughter, Ariana. Now, Ariana said, my parents stole my money. She said, I was getting checks from when I was about 5 years old from being on the Housewives of Atlanta. We then had our own shows. I was getting paid as a child on the show. I was getting brand deals when I was 14. Okay, and then all of a sudden, all my money was gone. She's like, my parents spent my money. My mama, my daddy, meaning Kim and Troy. There was no transparency. Girl, to come on the Bravo channel and then say your mama stole your money. And not only did she send the Kim Zolciak stole her money, when I spent the money. Maybe I won't say stole, but I do feel like when you have these teenage or kid actors or kids who are making money working, the parent is supposed to at least put up something for the kid to have once they're of age. Which, like, I got older, and once I thought I would have access to my money, they had spent all of it. Okay, then they spent all my money, spent all of their money. Okay, getting evicted from the house, and my mama called me now to borrow money. Now, this is my thing. If my mom took care of me my whole life, I would still want to help her if for some reason she could no longer make money. I think the difference is Kim used them kids to make money. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a bit different. Like, I think she stole that girl money. They spent that girl money. And her saying there wasn't any transparency, which means I don't know how much I made. I didn't know that my money was being used to pay bills or whatever. I assumed it would be here, and then it just wasn't. And so she has now moved to New York, and this new Bravo show, it's called like it's called like New York. I don't know what it's called, but it's her. She on there. Riley, who was Candy Burris' daughter's on there. Teresa daughter's on there from Jersey, and then I think Meredith's son is on there. Dame Dash daughter was on it. So it's kids of people or whatever. But her, like, my mom, my parents stole my money. I think it was Kim and not Troy. But, her boyfriend was like, and your mama still call you now to borrow money. So she stole your money. You're not having to work to make money. She not working. And she will call you and you zeal her money and you don't even, well, she got the 4 kids. I'm like, girl, Kim need to go work. So I do think it's unfortunate when instead of the parent making a way and making money to pay for their kids, they spent the one daughter's money. I would be pissed if I thought I had a whole nest egg once I turned 18 or whatever the age was, and it's gone. Child, pissed off. And I don't, if that was my parent who fucked me over, that would probably be the only time I would not want to help my parent because you fucked me over. Had you not spent my money before, we could have a cushion now. Okay, and not bitch you broke. So I said, girl, Kim is a thief. Okay.